Hey, what's up? This is Kyle,
This is Tom.
and you know I got soul.
I started the site in 2009, late 2009. I was in grad school finishing my master's degree, and I had some extra time, so I love R&B, so I thought, what can I do to give back to R&B and help elevate the artists I care about, since there was no outlets really. It was R&B was fading. Independent artists were becoming prominent in R&B, and they weren't getting any outlets and the looks they needed. So I wanted to have an impact, and that's what made me decide to start it. And then Kyle came on board in 2011, early 2011. You could tell the story.
Well, prior to, I joined the site in 2011, but I had known Tom since the beginnings of 2009. We had worked on another project together, did a separate website, and then through that we built a good relationship, in terms of work, realized that both of us had the same interest in R&B and the same passion. So from that, even though I wasn't a part of the team back in 2009, it's sort of like, he was in the kitchen cooking something, I was in the living room, so anytime, pots and pans were being dropped, I heard, and anytime something good happened, I knew about, so that was cool. So we did our joint project, and then that ended 2011. He asked me to join, I Got Soul, just based on what we had accomplished together, and at first I said no. And the reason I said no was because the direction of the website, and which is really ironic now, but the direction of the website was a little too grown for me because I was like 20 at the time. So at that point, I was all about the Chris Browns and the Trey Songs, which, I'm still a fan of them. But what was really cool was Tom pretty much just broke it down to me and was just like, you know what, I don't want you to have to do what I'm doing. I need you to do what you're doing and help out on that side. I'm like, cool. So then it made sense to me, and I'm like, all right, I'll join the site. So since 2011, Tom and I have been working together on You Know I Got Soul.
I think my favorite part is, we don't do it for recognition, obviously, but my favorite part is when we get love from artists in return, the ones who respect what we do and appreciate it. Unfortunately, not all the artists appreciate the work we put in our support, but that's just, it is what it is. But some really show love, and like, we just got a great compliment from like Legacy yesterday, and that was really cool. And like the list goes on and on. Like, but that's, to me, that makes all the difference. It makes you want to push harder and keep it going.
Yeah, it's just great to, get that recognition. I think for me the biggest thing is what we've been able to do in terms of the website and developing an R&B community, which kind of goes back to what Tom's vision was initially, which was to give back to R&B. So now we're able to connect with so many different people, especially on our Facebook page and our Twitter. We have people who comment all the time, and they're always coming back. So that's a great thing for us, because at the end of the day, like Tom said, we're not in it for money or anything. We just love what we do. We just love the fact that we're able to give back to R&B and to be able to work with all these artists and connect with all these people. It's a beautiful thing. It's awesome. I think Tom and I, we have a really good working relationship. We both know what our strengths and our weaknesses are, and just weirdly enough, it all just works for us. But in terms of, seeing all the comments and stuff like that, it's great. I always look at Tom like, this guy's a machine in what he does. Anyone that's in New York knows him because he's at pretty much every event. I'm from Canada, so I don't get that privilege, but just knowing Tom and knowing his work ethic, it just makes me work a lot harder, which, at the end of the day, I think that's what benefits the site. But no, he's the guy that just gets this thing going. I always look at him as like, he's the engine to this thing. He keeps it going. I'm probably just the guy on the passenger side, making sure that we're not going anywhere crazy, but it's great.
It's like, it's kind of like Pinky and the Brain. I don't know if you ever heard of this show. But this guy's the brain, and I'm like Pinky. So he just like tells me to do stuff, and he always knows like these, oh, we should do this. I'm like, no, that's not going to work. And then we do it, and it works. And so he's the smart one. So if he has an idea, I'm like, all right, we're doing that. And I just work like a machine on the side, behind the scenes. So, but that's it. Shout out to Andrew from The Next to Shine. He brought us on board. He's no longer with the show. Moved on. He has his own showcase now. But he brought us on board, and Eric Roberson has been hosting the thing. from day one, 12 years now. Even as he's gotten so much bigger, he always gives back to artists, gives them a platform. And we really it's an extension of I Got Soul, where we spend a lot of time digging through submissions of brand new artists who haven't been heard yet, and we find the best ones and we post them. And we also want to give some of those a chance to perform in New York City, some for their first time ever, which is so cool. And then mix it with some more known artists who are looking for a platform. Like we just saw Demetria McKinney out here. She's on E1. She did the show. She did Soul Village a few months ago. We had RL from Next do it a few months ago. Just artists who are looking for a platform, we like to give it to them. So it's really cool to be able to be involved in that. I almost threw in the towel like 3 or 4 times because in the beginning I used to get turned down so often for interviews. It was so hard. It wasn't, it's really like perseverance. I just kept trying. I kept building, kept working. It's a lot of hard work behind the scenes. It looks like all glamour when you see me posting pictures with artists, but it's not really like I just have VIP access to everything. I just walk up to an artist and take a picture. It's more like it's all a product of the work behind the scenes, and it hasn't been this easy road because there's been so many no's when I reached out for interviews. It's just getting past those and working with the people who believed in the vision, and eventually a lot of those no's turned into yeses. And there hasn't been many artists that I wanted to interview that I haven't had a chance to, so it's worked out.
And I think just on the blogging side, blogging, everyone knows it's a challenge. Like, just even we do so many interviews, there's been days where I'm just like, do I really want to transcribe this? It takes too much time. And for us, it's really interesting because neither of us are actually in the music industry per se. We both have careers outside the music industry. So, that dynamic itself is just different. Like, we're not trying to monetize on the website or anything like that. So what it comes down to is just, do we really love what we're doing with the website? Do we really care about R&B? And for us, it's, obviously it's a challenge because music comes out every day. It's such a different time now for R&B, for music in general. So it's a challenge, and it's always going to be a challenge, even just with trying to get content. But you have to work your way through it. Well, the process is actually really interesting. I was just actually talking to Tom about this. If you notice the very beginnings of I Got Soul, we interviewed a lot of artists, and shout outs to people like Rel, people like Mila from 702. We reached out to artists who didn't necessarily get a lot of interview requests at the time. But we took it upon ourselves to do those interviews, and if you notice with those interviews, they're like 2 hours long. Like, your interview with Rel was what, like 2.5 hours? Yeah. Yeah. Same with Smokey from Playa. Shout outs to Smokey. That was like a 2.5 hour interview, and I think that was the process. We had to do those interviews and kind of pay our dues. And with those interviews, I talked to Tom about this yesterday, it really allowed us to showcase what we knew about these artists and just the knowledge that we had, to where if we could solidify ourselves as a brand with these artists, once we were able to establish ourselves, these big artists that we've had a chance to interview now, it would be easy because we have the foundation, and people know that we're, reputable. We know what we're talking about.
I want to say 1.5 to 2 years of foundation work. To be honest, though, in the beginning, I didn't even know what the plan was. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no one to guide me, so I wasn't taking it seriously, so it might have taken me a little longer. I didn't even know what I wanted to do with the site. I was just kind of going with the flow. So once I got into the groove of it, though, it kind of started moving faster. But yeah, it's been, like I said, it hasn't been such a smooth ride. It's been a lot of building, but it's been fun building. It's part of the process. Well, the relationships are so key. You got to build with people, and you got to make friends with these people, industry people, publicists, label personnel, and then they're going to look out for you. You cover some of their lesser known artists, and then you just hope they reach back when it comes time for the Ushers and the R. Kellys of the world when they're doing their interviews. And it's happened. Not Usher, but someday that will R. Kelly, yeah, fortunately. But those are so key. You got to build good relationships. It's the only way. We rely on those people so much to help feed us the content. We can't do it ourselves, so it's like a team working together with the artists and with the industry people.
Yeah, I mean, for us, that's another challenge that we always have to go through is what's next. Because, we could be content with doing what we're doing now, which is the interviews, which, we're going to continually do because we just love doing that. But as a company, as a brand, you're always trying to think what's next. And for us right now, the podcast is something that we've been trying to launch for a minute now. Finally got it down. We have Ed from SoulandStereo.com helping us out. He's been a huge asset to just everything we do. But, the podcasting thing is definitely something we want to continue doing. Tom and I have started booking for various promoters in our cities. I think, I'm in Vancouver, Canada, so I've helped out with a couple of bookings with random nightclubs, and I'm going to continue doing that. It's a learning process, right? When I came into blogging, when Tom came into this, we knew nothing about it. And it's just a day-by-day process where you get to learn the industry a little more, you get to learn how it works, and it's a great thing. I think, Tom, you're also working on a showcase in D.C.?
Helping out on the show, it's called Neo Age Showcase. Yeah, it's a cool event. They kind of modeled it after Soul Village, so that's another cool platform for artists, in a city that doesn't have a show like that currently. So, yeah, I'm just having fun with it. That's what it's all about, having it fun, helping artists who deserve the attention, and just keeping it going. Like Lettucey told us, we just need to keep it going because there's not enough outlets for this type of thing. So hopefully more outlets will pop up that truly care about R&B and help spread the word like we're trying to do. It used to bother me, but I just got used to it. And you know what? That's the music industry. Most people, their intentions are not pure. They're just in it to profit themselves, and that's fine. I mean, everyone can do what they want. I mean, who am I to judge anyone? But I try not to let it bother me anymore. I've seen a lot of people cut corners and get more recognition than we get, and that's fine too. I've gotten over that. It's really, we've just tried to find our own lane and stick to it and not let any of those other things bother us, because we've gotten plenty of good opportunities. We're fortunate to have built up what we have and gotten to where we are. So I don't know if you...
I mean, just the other day, we're at the Essence Festival right now in New Orleans, and, we've had a chance to see a lot of artists that we've covered. Brave, who's doing R&B Divas right now, she came up to us, and, she came up to us and she just thanked us and she recognized us, and it wasn't one of those, let's get a picture, hey, look at who I am with, I'm with Brave. No, it was just love, and that's what we're in it for. So, I mean, I understand, it's the music industry and it's all glitz and glamour, and, that's for the bloggers, and, if they're in it for that, then that's cool too. I mean, you got to do something that keeps you motivated, and if that's what keeps them motivated, then that's fine, but for us, we're not really built like that.
Well, that's another aspect of the industry. A lot of people are fronting, like they it's all persona and images, but that's just part of the industry. I mean, that's always been that way. If you're an artist and you try to portray that you're so much bigger than you are, and it's just part of it. I don't have much to say about that, but we're low key, us too. We have no intention of stepping into that spotlight and being personalities. We're just kind of low key and let the artists shine, and that's just like how we do things.
Well, I just want to tell everyone, thank you guys all for the support. I mean, we're in New Orleans right now, and, he's a white guy and I'm an Asian guy. He's from New York and I'm from Canada, and we're covering R&B, which is crazy in itself. And not to put a color on it, but I think it just emphasizes on the point that R&B, music in general, is a universal thing, and, we got to keep supporting music for this to happen, because without music, none of this would have happened. And, looking at sales and everything right now, it's terrible, so definitely need everyone to support, and thank you guys for the support, because without you guys, we'd probably be somewhere playing video games, which we still do. But the one thing I want to add before I forget is, for all the people out there who look at us and try to figure out what we're doing and how we got there, really it was just the relationship that we had as friends. It goes beyond business and all of that stuff. I mean, a lot of times when we're talking on Skype or on the phone or whatever, yes, we do talk about music, but aside from that, everything that you hear on that podcast, whether it's about food, whether it's about just random stuff like that, that's really us. We're not trying to be celebrities. We're not trying to be, extra. We're just us, and it's just great that people have acknowledged us and, have, I guess, taken a liking to us, which is kind of weird.
And I'll just say shout out to Ed Bowser, shout out to Rich Johnson, shout out to Barry Bars, some of our contributors right now, and thank them for their hard work. And just everyone, thanks for rocking with us all these years, and we're going to keep it going. And I got soul. Stay tuned.